6-7 KCAL rocks. Just about that time to talk some sports with our guy, Pep. Let's check in. What's up, Pep?
Yo, good morning, Patrick. Listen, we had another big weekend of NFL football. It did not disappoint. We saw a little bit of everything this past weekend, but we want to start with the Chargers playing at the Vikings because I know it's only a couple games into the NFL season, but this was kind of like a playoff game because both teams came in at 0-2. If you fall to 0-3, that team would not always, but usually miss the playoffs. So this is a big game, and the Chargers somehow won 28-24 on the road. I felt like Minnesota probably should have won that game, but the Chargers got it done, man, and they got their first win of the season, and Justin Herbert passed for over 400 yards. Keenan Allen was insane, even threw a touchdown pass. So, big win for the Lightning Bolts to do that on the road in Minnesota.
In the battle of the two teams that can't get over the hump,
Yeah.
It is the Chargers who hang in there. But you could tell right away, like, man, Justin Herbert is good. You know?
Oh, yeah, and when if the Chargers can play a little bit of defense, Justin Herbert in the offense, they've got enough weapons. With or without Austin Eckler, he's got a bunch of receivers that are really good. Keenan Allen, people sleep on this guy, man. He's one of the best receivers in the league, but I don't know why his name doesn't come up more when you talk about the best receivers in the league. So, yeah, that was a huge win for the Chargers on the road. I do want to give a shout-out to our local guy, Alexander Madison, the starting running back from Minnesota. He had 125 all-purpose yards, but, man, they just could not get the job done. And, again, I felt like Minnesota had probably more opportunities to win the game and probably should have won the game. But at the end of the day, the Chargers are 1-2. The Vikings are 0-3.
Yeah, the Chargers will take it.
Yeah, that was a nice win for them on the road. Now, there was so many weird and just abnormal things that happened across the NFL this weekend. But maybe the most, Patrick, was the Miami Dolphins dropping 70 on the Denver Broncos. It was 70-20, the final score. Unbelievable.
That I thought for sure would be the most points I've ever heard of, and I cannot believe that that's not the actual record. But yeah, 70. Oh my goodness, that's soul snatching, as they say.
Oh, it was awful. Listen, we cover a lot of high school football on Inland Sports, and once in a while we'll see maybe a Centennial or someone drop a 70, and so it's not unheard of. But in the NFL, nobody gets to 70. In fact, the 70 is not the all-time record. Should we do a little pep quiz on a Monday morning?
Yeah.
Do you know the year,
Yeah.
the team, and the score, Patrick? That is actually the NFL record for the most points in a single game.
I get to cheat a little bit on this because I don't know the exact year, but I remember I did take a peek, and it goes back to World War II. It's 1942 or something like that.
I think it was Washington had 72, and the exact year I'd have to Google it, but I think it's in the 60s.
Wow.
But yeah, 72 points. So the Dolphins were actually really close to breaking the record. I don't know if that was in the back of their mind as they were trying to run it up on Denver, but yeah, they got really, really close.
Yeah, maybe finally it seems like Mike McDaniel was like, okay, 70's enough.
Yeah. We've talked about the 49ers quite a bit on this, the show, and they scored, or they got a big win on Thursday Night Football. And we talked about, are the 49ers the best team in the NFL? Is it the Eagles? Is it the Chiefs? Patrick, listen, man, we're living in a world now. We've got to throw Miami in the mix. They're undefeated, and they're blowing teams out. Maybe the Miami Dolphins are the best team in the NFL with Tua Tagovailoa at QB.
One thing I don't understand, and this is the second week in a row we've seen it, is, it was the second play of the game. Tyreek Hill, the fastest player in the NFL, is running wide open across the field, and Tua was like, I must be dreaming.
Yeah.
And threw it right to him. Touchdown right off the bat, and that told me something right away. It's like, how do you not put some safety help on the fastest person in the NFL? I'm not a coach.
Yeah.
But I think you need to do something to slow that guy down. It was unreal.
Yeah, here's a hunch. Tyreek Hill's going to get the football, so you might want to give him, your secondary some help back there. Again, he is the fastest guy. Listen, Tyreek's going to get his. So, maybe if you lock him up, who else on the Miami Dolphins is going to make a huge play like that? I think even Jalen Waddle didn't even play yesterday, who's the second best receiver for Miami, and they still dropped 70. So that offense, who's the head coach? Mike McDaniel? Is that his name? The young guy who's kind of got that swag? Dude, they're getting it done.
Originally, his first job was the Broncos ball boy. They were showing that. And then he hung 70 on them.
Man, yeah. So when you talk about the best NFL teams, I know you're talking about the Chiefs, defending Super Bowl champs. My Niners have looked good. I know the Cowboys lost yesterday against Arizona, so maybe throw them out of the equation, at least for now. But the Miami Dolphins might be the best team in the NFL.
I mean, as of right now, it looks like it'll be the 49ers and the Dolphins. We will obviously check back in with that statement as the season goes on.
Yeah. What year is this? Early 80s or something like that? For the two best teams. And I do want to give another quick shout out in NFL to CJ Stroud, the pride of Rancho Cucamonga, getting his first win with the Houston Texans. And this was kind of another surprising game, winning by 20 against Jacksonville, 37-17.
I love it. And he looks good, and he has been playing better and better every week. I still will never forget his line to the one reporter. It was so funny, because he had scored real low on some of the tests, right? And he finally goes, well, do you want a good test taker or a football player? And it actually made me laugh. I was like, that's – and then he's playing well. I love it.
Some redemption, right? Yeah,
yes.
Some redemption for C.J. Stroud to do well, get that win against a good team. Like, everyone's got high hopes on Jacksonville, so that was a very, very good win, especially for win number 1 for him in his NFL career. Patrick, we've got more foosball tonight. I hope hope you're down with Monday Night Football, because we got not one, we got 2 games tonight, including everyone's favorite team, the LA Rams, taking on the Bengals, which is actually a great Monday Night Football game. Assuming Joey Burr is going to be out there for Cincinnati. That's going to be a fantastic game. We also have Eagles and Buccaneers, which the Buccaneers are one of those surprise teams that start 2-0. So surprisingly, Philadelphia versus Tampa Bay is also a great game. So we got 2 great games tonight.
We do. We have great games, but we do have surprises. Like you said, the Bucs are 2-0. Arizona rises up against the Cowboys and makes them look really foolish. Who the hell saw that coming? The NFL, it is classic. You cannot write this stuff. There is no way it is rigged. It's impossible.
No, all the wacky things that happen, unpredictable, right? Like, no,
yes.
So it's unpredictable, and that's what makes it fun. Baker Mayfield and Tampa Bay, taking over for Tom Brady, and they're 2-0. Can you imagine if they beat Philadelphia and go to 3-0? What world are we living in? The multiverse? Like, what's going on here?
It's just wild. They've showed that ability to kind of, even if they play crappy, still win, and that's big.
Yeah. So great weekend of NFL. It's not over yet. 2 great games tonight. College football, Patrick, over the weekend. Of course, all eyes were on Colorado against Oregon, and the Ducks just smashed the Buffs 42-6. But now Colorado turns around, Patrick. They're going to host USC. USC, listen, they won on the road at Arizona State, but the Sun Devils are not very good, and that was actually a close game for the better part of 3.5 quarters. So all of a sudden, USC at Colorado this coming Saturday, kind of interesting.
Yeah, they're going to have to face another good team, so this will be another barometer check. Some of the Colorado players, scraping up the Oregon logo before the game, so that gets Oregon all fired up. I mean, the ESPN cameras went right into the locker room where the coach of Oregon was just going bananas about how they're fighting for clicks and we're fighting for championships. But from Colorado's perspective, it's not going to be easy. Nothing worthwhile is easy. So they and I think even Dion knew he's not just going to walk through college football. But I was surprised. I liked how he said, good old-fashioned ass kicking, right when he got to the thing. But then he said, get me now. This is as bad as we're going to be. You do have USC this week, and USC, I think, has the potential to give them the business. We'll see.
They could, but I thought USC would give the business to Arizona State too. So that's why they play the games, right? In Colorado, they're going to be angry. They're going to come in, with something to prove now after getting hammered by the Oregon Ducks. And yeah, that was an epic speech by the Oregon Ducks head coach, man. Like his guys were ready. They were dialed in. They were focused, and they were probably, even though they were the heavy favorite and ranked number 10 in the country at the time, they probably felt like they had the chip on their shoulder because everyone's talking about Coach Prime in Colorado, man. And they were clearly the better team.
They were, and Bo Nix looked great.
Yeah, that was a big win. So now I'm interested to see USC against Colorado because it's kind of intriguing now based on what they did this past weekend. And one more college score just passed along. I'm sure you guys already heard about this. Probably the best game of the weekend. Ohio State winning in the final seconds to beat Notre Dame and two ranked teams. The Buckeyes won 17-14. That was a big win, obviously, against the Irish. But, Patrick, they have not looked dominant this year. It's a weird college football season with Alabama struggling, Clemson struggling, Ohio State not looking like your typical Buckeyes team. So maybe this is going to open the door for someone else to actually step in. Maybe USC, maybe Michigan, I don't know, to win the whole thing.
Yep, it's another thing where you just don't know. And like you said, that's what we love about it.
Yeah, it makes it so fun. Maybe even our guy, Jaden Daniels at LSU, they might be in the mix when it's all said and done.
Man, we'll have to see what happens. I can't wait until Thursday gets here and we can talk more about the double Monday Night Football tonight. I love it. More football is always good with me, Pep.
There's never enough. There's no such number.
Man, I love it. Pep, tell me how to get your stuff.
You can always get my stuff on Inland Sports, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We got Inland Sports on YouTube as well. Go check it out at your leisure. That's Inland Sports.
Thanks, Pep.